What's up, guys? Gonna be a solo update video, kind of. A lot of you guys know that I'm from Colorado, but I figured I'd kind of give a bit of a background look of how I got into climbing, what climbing means to me right now, and kind of where I'm looking to go with it. I lived in Carbondale, Colorado, which is quite close to Aspen. I was originally a skier, skier endurance athlete. A lot of bike racing, a lot of ski racing, stuff like that. And I climbed for a while and never really got so serious into it until 6-7 years ago, maybe. But even then, it was kind of always tempered between skiing and climbing. And I was super lucky to go to a school called the Colorado Rocky Mountain School, CRMS, which was a very kind of like outdoors oriented school, going from climbing once a week to climbing 4 to 5 times a week. And that's what kind of like really boosted my climbing, really got me into it. And then casually competed for a while before making it eventually to nationals, kind of at the end. And then asking myself if I was like happy competing or more just competing because I felt that I should win, kind of thing. Not as like a journey to getting better at climbing, and competitions is a way to measure that. So that was kind of the first realization. And then the other was me designing after graduating high school to really go into climbing 100%. Because before, I would climb, this is the funny part. So in the summers, I would not climb, ever. Like that's when I'm supposed to climb outside. But when school started in the fall, I would climb then. And then in the winter, during the competition season, I would climb a little bit, or like almost a bunch. But I would also be skiing a lot as well. So I couldn't just completely climb all the time. And then as soon as spring would hit, I would just like stop climbing for some reason, which is absurd. And then get into biking or running and hiking and all that, camping and all that jazz. So for me, this is kind of the first 2 years of uninterrupted climbing that I've had. And I've definitely noticed like the biggest jumps by far. I mean, ever, basically. And that's kind of that, as far as where I came from and me growing up in Colorado. As for what I want out of climbing right now, I want to be able to climb like for my entire life. And I definitely realized that the most after I was out of it for about 6 weeks or so. Realized like how much that I missed actually climbing at this point. And for me, I kind of was doing a lot of self-reflection during this time, looking back through a lot of the old videos and just kind of just watching myself climb, remembering good times, just laughing and kind of reliving it. And then also seeing how I was acting as a climber and my attitude towards climbing and success. And I realized that the expectations and comparisons that I was making on myself and to other people were quite unrealistic or very much like unhealthy for my motivation. Whereas my motivation was very much centered around not improving as a climber, but the top. Cultivated a really negative attitude so that I was tying like any kind of success in climbing to just getting to the top and doing this project and doing whatever. Which is like, when you can't do your project, then that like eliminates any source of happiness that you're going to be having or like gaining from climbing. And then I also get like incredibly frustrated if I messed up by just not doing a climb extremely quickly. I think like my goal going forward is to just like train hard, which I'm really stoked on right now, and get really strong. But also like really try and enjoy every step of the way and maintain like a really good attitude and be a person that's always really stoked to climb, always really stoked to train, always like super supportive of everybody around him, and always have like a very good attitude towards everything. And it's always been a bit of a dream to start competing in the World Cups and really get into that. And I always placed a bit of a timeline or like a deadline on that. I was like, all right, by 20 I'll have like maxed and peaked, and I have to start doing World Cups by then. And now it's kind of like I recognize that as an unrealistic expectation, And putting that deadline put like a lot of stress and unhappiness on my climbing, where I felt like I was always training to meet a goal that I knew in my heart was somewhat unrealistic for me. So for me, I want to take even if the World Cup is the final goal, that I want to like enjoy every step of the way of getting stronger and have everything be like an incredibly like good learning experience, as far as growing as a person and as far as like growing as a climber as well. So yeah, that's kind of where my story, from where I came from and how I got into climbing, and then where I hope to take that in the next couple years. A lot of people have been asking for training videos with me, and that's something that I would love to do, and I think it would be a lot of fun to shoot. But the struggle that we're running into right now is that I have to make sure that all of the information and the exercises that I'm doing are like bulletproof and done 100% correctly, so that any information that I am passing on to you guys is like 100% correct. You know, as always, thanks a bunch for watching. It's not always going to be a bunch of climbing videos with us. It's going to be some talking as well. So comment, like, subscribe, and see you guys later.